Yes, excuse the mess again. What am I doing? Well, a couple of days ago, the wiring failed for this sort of auxiliary light, which was powered from a junction box behind these panels. I mean, it's bare plaster walls with battens on, and all these panels are fitted with a gap behind. And I thought, why has it stopped? So I traced the wire back to the actual power supply, which is there. I fed a thick cable years ago, when I first moved in, to a junction box, and then a thin wire to my lights via this pull switch there. So it's failed, so I thought, well, instead of messing around, I'll cut the main supply off from there to there, which was quite safe enough. I'd hidden this cable behind that beam, and I thought, what's that all raggedy? And look at this. Can you see that? That's how it's failed. Has it gone through the live one? Now what do you think that is? Behind the panel. And did I mention them bloody mice? I heard a scratching behind here. So because there's a wall and a panel and a gap, do you think the bloody mouse has scuttled up, scuttled across, started gnawing a bloody wire like they do for no significant reason whatsoever, and gnawed its way through? Oh, so is there a bloody dead mouse behind the panelling? I'm not taking all the panelling off to look. My uncle did all this panelling for my grandmother, but you wouldn't think to put a barrier to stop mice crawling up. Oh, what a bloody house. My mum said you should never have bought that house just because she wanted to keep it in the family. I said, well, Grandma and Grandad lived here from wartime. My Grandad painted that grassy yellow paint, you know, he's scrounging for scraps of paint off people. Oh, I love that. Very old-fashioned chap, born in 1912. So, lighting's failed due to bloody mouse gnawing through a live cable. I couldn't smell anything. I've had that panel, it's fixed at the top, because I put all that decorative woodwork on when the roof fitter had fitted the plastic kitchen. You left a bit of a grotty bit, so I got some decorative beading and fixed it on. I don't know. They're my grandma's antique dogs, but they're on Antiques Roadshow soon. You'll be amazed how many hundreds of these spaniels we get. Yes, they're old, but there's literally thousands of them in people's houses. Everyone thinks they're worth lots of money, and they're not. So, to stop it happening again, yes, I need to recycle. I do have a spare output on the triple socket, so I'll just use a power cable and run it up across. It's going to look a bit crap, looking so obvious. Unless you go up and down, that'll be a bit of a problem. Drilling a hole in that little shelf with my smoke alarmies. Is it really necessary? Let me check it all down. It lights the middle room, which is very dark, you see. It used to be a curtain up here years ago, but I took it down because it made my middle room dark. Yeah, it's crap in it. I could just get a light bar with some cheap l.e.ds. In fact, yeah, there's a socket down here. I could run it down there better. Anyway, I just thought I'd tell you. Beware of mice nibbling through cables. You can start fires, can't you? What next in this crappy old house? 6-inch deep potholes. You hear that? Meanwhile, the council are spending thousands on rejigging the gardens in front of that hole. There's normally benches and gardens, nothing wrong with what it was like before they've dug it all up, but they've ripped all the bloody paving stones up and the gardens and the benches just to rejig it. Well, why? Them potholes, imagine if a kid went down them on a bicycle. Bad enough on this. Yes, I know I'm moaning, but it's a fact, isn't it? Cyclists are in danger of death if bounce down a pothole and then bounce under the wheels of a bus like that. But no, they're doing the gardens up again. Well, after that little wiring job yesterday, I went to Tesco and l.e.d. Actually came out to l.e.d, didn't buy a thing. Never seen so much rubbish. Although, on Thursday they're getting some big fuchsias in, you know, a multi-pack for $3.99. So 2 of them should fill my plant pots nicely. All ready for summer. Might be a bit warmer then as well. Still freezing. Bloody weather. I've been trying to catch up with people's videos at weekend. Sorry if I don't comment. But you know, I need time to catch up. When I'm working, I rarely go through them. Woody in Yorkshire's got another bike. He's thinking of getting Shuttleworth, his 750 Suzuki. But he said his wife's come into a windfall and she treated him to a new bike or something. And he's picked Africa Twin 1000cc anniversary model or something. I can't say I like the look of them much, but if they're comfortable, fair enough. Very few of them adventure style bikes are stylish. I mean, Ducati's on, what's his name? Moto Goyo, he keeps changing his name, Moto Goyo. He has a nice Ducati. And we're going to make that this subject today. But I've covered it lots of other times. Your ideal bike if money was no object. And one man's bloody hell, meat is another man's poison, isn't it? It'd be nice to have a custom bike if it wasn't so tall. I do miss that X4 I had. CB 1300 X4. Then I got the Super 4 again after having a silver Super 4 before the X4. It'd be nice to have a Japanese classic, wouldn't it? I was looking at a CB 900 on eBay, but they always look a bit rough. Plus, like I said, with being a custom, my legs are too long to be comfortable on them. That's why one of those adventure bikes will probably suit me, despite them being a bit a little more hate them in style. You have to get what you're comfortable on, don't you? Although this is, surprisingly, because this is only a small frame bike, despite being a 900, it's very, very comfortable. If anything did happen with this old bike, like the engine needed a rebuild, I might as well get a fresh bike, and I would consider getting another Hornet. Otherwise, like I said, other bikes you have to do a test ride and ask the shop if I can go back to my home. Can I go back to my house and see if it fits in my backyard? Well, yes, I suppose. That's why I did that with that Triumph and the Royal Enfield. They both ended up in my backyard to see if they fitted. And of course they did, because they're tiny little bikes, aren't they? Triumph are 1200cc, and yet it's the size of the old 500 from the 60s. I think they'd scale them up. I mean, as a race, we've got taller, haven't we, in the past 50 years? I'm the only tall person on a bike. That's vlogging, I mean. I was just looking at Ed China's latest channel, and I saw Ed Brewer explaining why Ed China left, and I always thought it was Ed China in the right, and Mike Brewer said no. He kept arguing with all the crew and taking his frustrations out on them. He said he thought he was bigger than the show. I said, oh dear, I've left the comments. I would have thought Ed would be like that if he was telling the truth. Anyway, Ed's now got, I don't know if it's online only, some kind of workshop thing. I'm going to say to him, but he never replies. I'm going to say to him, why not do a few bikes up? Why is it always cars? But people that are into cars aren't necessarily into bikes, despite being engineering enthusiasts. It doesn't always gel together, does it? Are you a car nut and a bike nut? I mean, Woody just got that new Africa Twin, and he's got a new car. This bike stinks. It's been peed on by a big stray tomcat in the yard yesterday, and he pees all over it. So when I switch the engine on, of course, the heat makes it come off. It might strip my paint off. Bloody hell, nothing but red lights. Plenty of time though. This is the first work commute I've filmed for a while. I just thought I'd do it because it was a nice day. Like I said, in the sunshine it's warm, but as soon as you go in the shade, bloody freezing. So, Thursday, fuchsias. We had some nice other plants as well at Tesco, but they were a bit pricey. Aldi's always cheap, isn't it? Thing is, about Aldi, they've probably all run out by the time I'm able to get there. Actually, I could go down this time on Thursday rather than leave it for weekend, see if they've got them in, and buy a couple of trays and then leave them in the kitchen until Friday or Saturday. Just been to Morrison's, all their plants are dying. They never really water them. I think they have a watering can and a supply of water from the bogs. Yes, Albert, white van man. I was selling Caldervale as well. I said one of my viewers actually thought this was a northern comedy routine, or at least I suspect that's what he thought. And I said there's a bloke who was a singer in the 70s, Jilted John, do you remember that? It's one of the first singles ever bought in 1978. The B-side was Going Steady. And Jilted John, it's like, yeah, I don't care. I've been going out with a girl, her name is Julie, but last night she said to me as we were watching telly, this is what she said, listen John, I love you, but there's this bloke I fancy, I don't want to two-time you, so it's the end for you and me. Yeah, she said she was leaving. So, he, believe it or not, young lad then he appeared in Coronation Street as a biker who had a little fling with Gail Tilsley, whatever she was called then. And now he's an old fella and he plays a character, John Shuttleworth, and he talks like that. And he's meant to be a comedian, but he just like that annoying sod, what's he called that? What's he called that gobshite with a rubber mask? I forgot. It's gone out of my head completely. You know what I mean, don't you? He did Craig David and he got in trouble for being racist. And now, oh, Keith Lemon, yeah, his real name is some weird name. Lee Francis, that's it. Some of his stuff was funny. He did dress as a little bear or something, didn't he? Bloody hell. See, no lockdown, is everyone back at work all together? Yeah, that Lee Francis, he talks posh, but he puts his bloody accents on. Pretending to be a northern numpty. Yeah, I'm having trouble changing bloody gear with these sticky Honda gears. That's why I need an oil change, I think. Unless it's a selector getting worn. At junctions, they're stamping on the gears and they weren't changing down back to first. So I was in bloody third then. I think Honda have a reputation anyway, don't they, for having clunky gearboxes. To try and counter it, I put some of that super slippy stuff in until I've done the oil change, which is scheduled for this weekend. In fact, that's something else I'm meant to be doing. Calling at a bike shop to get an oil filter. I was going to get it mail order, but I don't want to be faffing around waiting for the postman or even returning the bloody parcel. So I might as well go to a shop and pay a couple of quid more. They're about £8 to £10 online with free post, so it'll probably be a tenner from the shops. Yes, they're building a new bypass to ease the congestion down at this crossroads. Where's that red light? Get it on, Albert. Oh, I'm recording, aren't I? I gave that mate of mine a revolving red light with 10 different flash functions, but he's in bloody total darkness again. What's up with him? I don't know. You can't help some people, can you? No IVs, no lights, and I give him a revolving light. I said, tape it to your seat stock. You'll be right. Yeah, indicate Albert. It helps. What a day. You see those bright new lights, not projecting a beam or anything. You know, just cheap things, aren't they, off Amazon. Yes, it's on the plug now, a lot safer. Why are you running down the wall? Away from the mouse. What a pain it has. Bloody thing. 3 traps down. No, still not activated.